Hey everybody, it's Monday morning. It's a little after 9 o'clock here. Wandering around the shop, getting it warmed back up. Trying to come up with a plan for this week. Wednesday, Connie and I are heading over to PRI. We're going to go Wednesday afternoon over there, get checked in. Angela and Timmy from ATM are taking care of us this weekend, or this coming weekend. ATM Innovations. They build carburetors, as you well know, hopefully. I've had a long relationship with their family. Marvin and Angela, and Timmy, Michaela, Johnny D, Karen, the whole crew. Calvin, all the guys over there. All the people are fantastic there, and have graciously invited us over to hang out at the show. So we're gonna go do that, and I'm going to take my camera. That's something I'm trying. You guys have watched before, I don't edit my videos. I haven't edited my videos. I think I can add more content. I think I can show you more if I do, so I'm gonna try, and I guarantee in the beginning I'm gonna mess stuff up, and it is what it is, but I think my granddaughter's gonna help me try to learn this. I got a program called CapCut that was a free download on the interweb on video editing. So what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to show you the life of a retiree in a week. So I'm gonna try to video every day in the morning, show you what we're gonna do, and then the next morning I'm gonna try to show you what we've done, and in the middle, if I can show you how we're gonna do it and not mess up our day, I'm gonna do it. So some of the stuff you're gonna see today you've already seen. Some of it is gonna be what I'm gonna tackle today, and like I say, and then tomorrow morning I'll do the same thing. I'll set up and try to give you some information on what's going on here, and like I say, I'm going to try to take the camera to the PRI show and try to video some stuff over there. I'm going to try to do some interviews if I can with some of my friends and some of my business associates, people that I've met through the industry. Most of you all know I've been in the automotive performance industry almost my whole life, so let's say I've been in it 40 years, 40 of the 68 anyways, okay? In some form or another, I've managed professional chassis shops. I had my own shop for 5.5 years. And before that, I did it part-time so I could support my racing habit. Because in my previous life, I had a wife that spent 20 if I made 10, so fortunately now I'm blessed. So enough of that rant. I'm gonna show you what's going on. And something else I'm gonna say quick. Some of you guys have heard my rants on my politics. I'm gonna share this with you. Get rid of cable TV. Start streaming stuff. You guys are watching YouTube, so you're already streaming, but don't watch cable TV. Just turn it off. It's useless. I've made this comment before. Connie and I will travel. I'll turn the TV on in a motel room, and it's 15 minutes of commercials and 3 minutes of TV shows. Most of the commercials are drug commercials from Pfizer or somebody else, just trying to convince you that you got some stupid disease. Best thing to do, turn that off. Stop eating processed foods. Okay, here we go. Enough of that. That's, been on my mind, so I'm sharing this stuff with you. Here goes to nothing. You seen this? She was missing a couple plumbing parts. They showed up Saturday, so we can finish up the plumbing other than, like I talked in the front. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but we gotta come up with an alternator mount and the vacuum pump mount. The Chrysler's not like a Chevy. They don't have accessory bolt holes other than the ones in the heads, and that would be way too high for this narrow front end. So we gotta come up with something. We will though. Gotta be tough when you're dumb. You know, she's sitting here looking good. I'm gonna try to get her to Jordan here shortly. It's not gonna be before the PRI show, but I think I'm gonna have Bill come down and help me take this to Jordan's. This is, yeah, probably the most expensive car I've built in here. So I want him to go up there to see where it's going to be at, just to give him peace of mind. So the truck, Ramsey brought the bed. I got this much of the stuff cleaned off of it. I told you headers, what's going on there. Like I say, Ramsey's bed's here. And what I got to do is I got to cut all the middle out of this thing and throw it away, because he basically just wants the fenders. I'm going to save the rear cross member because that's what holds the bed together in the back. I'm not going to cut that out. That way we've got a good mount there, and then I'll have to build the mount up front. But it showed up Saturday. He had a bunch of friends come and carry this in, because us old guys, you know, we're sort of losing our muscle mass. That's the best way to put it. Bill's pile's getting smaller. I talked to you about that. There's everything just sort of in a mess there. I was trying to clean up yesterday or Saturday, and piled everything on the table. We still have to put the wheelie bars together, and I'm not going to put them on until it's ready to leave. So, but I want to finish putting them together and get them out of the way. And like I say, the rest of the plumbing parts are there. And you guys can say what you want to say about Chinese parts or whatever. Jegs has got the stuff in stock, and I've found that their quality has gotten considerably better, so I like using their product. And I will order other product. Most of the stuff Bill brought me was from Vibrant, which is, you know, it's coming from overseas too, I believe. But Jegs' stuff's getting better, so I use it. But I do buy quality hose. So anyways, rearranged all this stuff. It's sort of in a row. I could use a couple welders today. Got a lot done on the truck. We talked about the being bled. I'm waiting on another alternator bracket for this thing so I can get the alternator mounted. But the carb's on, the distributor's in, the engine is primed. Everything is looking good here. I put the choke cable on, you can see that, so now it's got a choke. I will wire this for a electric choke too, and typically I have Jordan wire everything, but I think I'm going to do this one myself. You know, Jordan has a full-time job, plus I've had him do a bunch of stuff for me. I'm running out of cash. You know, I'm running out of cash. The inside you've seen, I got this steering wheel temporarily installed. I'm waiting on the horn button stuff for it. But I'm gonna try to get the battery cables are done. The engine does crank over, so I'm gonna try to get that cover sandblasted and painted and ready to go back in over there. And I'm gonna just start working on odds and ends. I didn't drill another hole in the dash. I put the choke knob right there, so it clears everything. It's gonna clear the emergency brake handle. I'm gonna go over to, when we go to the trade show, I'm gonna go talk to my friends at Low Car and see if they can help me out with, I'm not asking for nothing for free, but just help me decide what I need to buy for this thing. I want to put a spoon pedal in their cable and the bracket for the kick down and all that stuff. I want to use all Low Car. I mean, you probably noticed it's already got a Low Car shifter in it. I love their product. Those people have been great, and I've known them all for a long time, so they're friends. I try to stick with my friends. So anywho, today I got to get this stuff, a little bit of junk that's left from the truck. I got to get it out of the way so that I can use these horses and these planks to build the doors for the Willys. They have power windows. I haven't cut the windows out yet, so I need a workspace, and as you can see, I'm out of workspace. I need a place to work, so we're gonna clean that up today, get some room. My project today is the gas tank. These are the running board mounts and the gas tank mount for the left side of the truck, and it had a new tank in it, but I'd shown you that they just had a metal plate bolted over here, and it was not done right. So I had to re-drill another hole right here and tap that for the cover, and then I made this aluminum cover out of 90 thousandths material that holds the fuel level sender. I needed that in there, so that's made. I'm waiting on material to build a gasket, and today I'm going to make the straps that hold the tank down. They go on here and they wrap around and attach down here, so I'm going to make them and get them out of the way so I can get this out of the front of the shop. And I want to try to put the dash together. You guys saw the dash parts laying in there. I'm going to try to get that put together so I can get it up off the floor of the truck. So, but anywho, and on top of that, I've got a couple new cameras that I'm trying to figure out. One's a 360-degree camera that I got from my buddy Eddie McCleft. We're trying to figure that one out. Just, you know, he gave me the camera, I think 2 years ago, and I've tried to hook it up to my computer and make it work, and I'm struggling. So I'm going to take my laptop and the camera and all the information I have to somebody and have them set it up for me so it will work. What that is it gives you a 360-degree view of the shop, and what I'm going to try to do is create a video that I can do a voiceover on. So I'm trying to get a little more technologically savvy here. Of course, I can work on this stuff with carburetors, but don't get me wrong, I've done fuel injection stuff too. But that's what's happening in here, guys. This is Monday morning. I appreciate you putting up with my lunacy, and I'll talk to you tomorrow morning. Thanks, guys. Hey everybody, it's Tuesday. It's about 8:30-ish in the morning. Getting ready to get a big start here at the national headquarters. And as I said in my previous clip, I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do today and what happened yesterday. Here goes nothing. Got this done. I made these straps. I took a piece of 1/2-inch 058 and welded to a piece of 14 gauge flat stock. And then down here in the bottom, I just welded a piece of all thread on that, hold it together, and then I put some foam rubber in the middle so it didn't squeak, because I've done that before. I put gas tanks in and with no anti-squeak, they squeak. It's annoying. So that's ready to go in the truck, with the exception I'm still waiting on gasket material for this. So that shows up, I can get this bolted in and get my fuel line run. I found a piece of 2-inch rubber hose to connect my filler neck up. That was pretty rough shape. Of course, I didn't touch Bill's car yesterday, but that's today. So I got the table or the horses where I had my truck junk cleaned up. I've got the battery lid there. I was going to put a piece of foam rubber on that first thing this morning so I can put that over the top of the battery. The truck, I got a lot done. There's some stuff I'll show you here. I got the dash put together and put plugs on it, put it in. It's okay. You know, I guess I shouldn't have expected much for a $350 dashboard, but this is a shop truck, like I said before. So as long as I got gauges that work and a speedo that works, I'm happy. E-brake handles in. I'll walk around the other side. I want to show you some stuff there. I've shown you the engine. I'm waiting on like exhaust manifold dressing so I can put the manifolds on. Around Christmas time every year it gets bad. You know, you order something typically from the jungle, it takes you 2 days. Now it's 2 weeks. So I told you I put in a vintage air, and you can see the paperwork laying back there, a vintage air heater. I like the heater. This thing here, that plastic thingy, it sucks. It's a really piece of crap. So I don't like that. I'm probably going to make something out of aluminum to mount there to take its place. It's there for now. Once I got it installed, it's like, man, this is really freaking cheesy. So lack of quality there. Everything else seems fantastic. One thing I didn't like is part of that heater control doesn't plug in the instructions. I don't know if I can show you the wiring instructions on this thing. Yeah, here they are. They're sort of crunched up because I was laying on them. The wiring instructions, the mode switch isn't plugged in, and the terminals on the mode switch aren't even close to what's on these instructions, so that sort of sucks. There's a jumper wire that goes from the fan speed switch over there. You can see that here on the B. In the C, and the pink wire is hooked up to that. So I got to look at all that stuff. It doesn't, the letters on the switch that's in this thing isn't the same as that, so I've got to double check all that, make sure I got that right. But the other thing I don't like is they got the water control valve. These things are great, you know, because they really do shut the water off, keep the heat out of the truck. The problem is it's got this, it's got this big plug that's got to go through the firewall. So I'm going to have to cut a big hole in the firewall and put an adapter plate on it, and then a grommet. Like I probably use a grommet from a thermostat or a temperature gauge, like an autometer, a mechanical temperature gauge. They got those big grommets. I'll probably use one of them and put that together. But I got the glove box lid and the ashtray in it. This is the GPS sender here. I just run a hole through the adapters I made for the defrosters, and I'll just stick this on a dash up here somewhere. So that's what we got done on the truck. Like I say, we got that done. Cleaned up my mess. Today we got to work on this mess. All the plumbing parts are here to finish the wheelie, so I'm gonna have Jeff start on that. I'm gonna put the wheelie bars together to get them out of the way, and then, like I say, we're gonna try to just bolt the rest of the parts on this thing. The pulley, I don't think the pulley didn't show up for the alternator, so that sort of sucks. But we weren't going to do that till it come back from Jordan. So we're going to finish the plumbing up. I'll use most of these fittings up today. And I'm going to work on the doors. They're upstairs. They need to be completely assembled. I need to cut out the Lexan for the windows. I've not done that yet. I cut used Lexan to put that stuff together, and just to make sure that the windows would function, I could get it all working, and it all works good. So today I will cut out the fresh piece of Lexan I have, get it all cleaned up, get the doors put together, and probably on the car today. That's the plan. So then tomorrow's going to be a short day for me because we're going to PRI. I've got to run to Fort Wayne next week and take that yoke up there to get a drive shaft made for it. But I'm going to show you something pitiful. I'll walk out here. That's pitiful. That is pitiful. I got to get that in where the yellow truck is so I can do some work on it. But that's what we got going on here at the national headquarters on a Tuesday morning. Talk to you tomorrow. Pitiful. Just pitiful. Come on in the shop. Windy, rainy today. We're heading out to PRI this afternoon. I want to give you some updates in the shop. You can see the pile's getting smaller over here. We're going to work on trying to get the vacuum pump figured out today. The pulley showed up for the alternator for the woolly, so we're going to try to get that done. Come take a peek. She's looking pretty sporty. Just say we're trying to figure that mess out. We got to carry the front end up today and get it set on there, but we've got all the plastic peeled off the windows because they're far enough along now that We ain't gonna scratch it. The doors are mounted. The doors are put together. The windows go up and down. Of course, they're power windows. Everything seems to line up. We got a little bit of rubbing issue on the driver's side door, but that's, I think, what's going on over there. The body man's gonna have to fix that. He's gonna take it back and sand it and buff it, and I'm gonna try to do a little bit of work to it. But the screws that I've got holding the latch right there, they're rubbing on that side. So I think I'm gonna try to grind a little bit of the screw head off over on that side. They weren't rubbing when they left, but I'm sure the body work and everything else is. You can see how I put the knob on the inside. The thing I don't like about this is the handles they're stiff, and there's nothing I could do. There's little odds and ends here I got to take care of yet, but they just work hard. I mean, they work great. The door stays closed, but it's like you have to remember to lift the handle up. I got the deck lid on. He's call this the Tim car. So as you can see, all the fellers that worked on it, and he's thanking his wife. He really needs to thank her. I mean, she's been an angel through this and understanding. I can't tell you how many times I've fat fingered and called her instead of her husband. So, but it's all good. I think she's turned out pretty nice. The color, I'm not a purple guy, but this looks pretty darn good. So I don't know how you could complain. One thing I want to show you guys on the doors. I know people are, you know, I've had several people tell me, well, you got that top hinge, you got it the wrong direction. Well, if you're a car builder, you know that when you build these, the pins have to line up or it'll tear the door apart. Well, if you put this hinge out here, the pins are like this, and it'll rip the front of the door off. What I should have done instead of using these hinges is I should have built my own. I should have just hand fabbed hinges. It would have been a lot more time. But this is what everybody is using. This is what came with the body. And I just, yeah, I don't, maybe I'm missing something, but the only way I could have done this is if I heavily modified the door jamb on the door and on the car to make this work. And you know, I couldn't see it, so I mounted them this way, and the doors work. Everything works great. You know, they swing good. They open wide, but they swing up. When they open, they swing up. I'm sure you can see that, but they're self-closing. So that's what we got done. A lot of effort into that. Jeff put the, I don't know, you probably can't see in that dark mess, but Jeff put the roll cage padding in it yesterday that we thought it might need. The only other thing I know we got to do today is I got the button for the line lock, or the trans brake, is pointing the wrong direction. We got to fix that today too. So before it goes to Jordan, it's going to go to Jordan Monday so he can wire it, and then we can bring it back and get it running. But like I say, today we're going to try to get the vacuum pump on and the pulley, make sure all that stuff will fit underneath the front end. Then Tuesday, Jeff and I will start hacking on this. We'll get that all gutted out and hopefully get it back on the truck so I can finish this truck up. I'm going to work on, before I go to PRI, my manifolds. I ordered some manifold dressing for these. I want them to look a little bit prettier, so I sandblasted them some. There's, you know, it's going to be good enough. But I'm going to try to get the dressing on them so when I get back I can get the manifolds on. And the gas tank, I told you guys that I didn't have the material for the gasket. That showed up, so I can get that done and get the gas tank in, get my fuel line run, and get it a lot closer. So that's what's happening in here. Nothing back in the back has happened to the yellow truck. We've been so busy working on this Willie, so I'm going to PRI this afternoon, and I'm sure I'll do a few videos over there. See what happens. Thanks for watching. Okay, here goes tech tip of the day number 1. It's Taco Day here. I didn't mention that earlier, but I want you to see this. I do this with cast iron parts, especially like when you're painting an engine. If you do this, man, the paint sticks a lot better. What this does, use a propane torch, and if you watch it real close, you can see the moisture come off the surface. You get that to dry out, because being the cast iron so porous, the water stays in it. And what it does, if you don't clean this off like this, it just makes the paint flake off. I had mentioned I'm going to put dressing on this, but you can see it dry it out. I mean, it, you know, knocks the moisture out, and then it is like the paint sticks super good. So keep this in mind when you're doing this kind of stuff. It helps a lot. Here goes. Hey everybody, it's Thursday morning. Connie and I are walking to the trade show. She's over here, got my left. Now she's going to my right. Just wanted to fill everybody in. I'm going to try to do some interviews today, show you guys what this looks like, the ones that don't get to go. So here goes nothing. Thanks. I'm here at the show with Eric Saffel, one of my close friends. I've known Eric since I think 2001 or 2002, so we are longtime friends.
Ouch.
Yeah, it shows our age. I mean, you look at his head, he's starting to turn gray. Right. I think that's from job stress. He needs to retire, but he won't. Anyways, why I'm here is I wanted to show you the strut that we used on Rocky Van Note's car, because I know a lot of you guys have watched that strut video. And therein, when we did that, it only had a spindle mount brake kit, and we had to develop our own brake kit. But now they have something new to offer, so I'm going to let Eric talk to you about that.
Thanks, Tim. And I got to say, been a great relationship with Tim to this point. He's been very helpful, been like a father to me. So if that means anything to anybody, I appreciate that. So
I love you like a son.
Yeah, to the strut. This is a double adjustable strut. The adjustment up here at the top controls the extension, so you can speed up or slow down weight transfer. There's a knob on the back side that controls compression, so we can help the car land smoothly. It's a spindle mount unit, common pin inclination, but the cool factor is now we don't have to have a spindle mount wheel and a whole new brake kit. We've got a bracket that allows you to put a hub style brake kit on it. There are multiple brands of brakes that fit this. So common pin out here. This is the same as the 67-9 Camaro as far as the dimensions go. But again, common brake kits fit this, so it becomes very easy to adapt onto race cars. And I think that was the key thing with Tim and with Rocky, is this strut fit that car with the craftsmanship that Tim provides. And then the valving allowed Rocky, he gave me a testimonial yesterday, once they got the weight just right, 4 or 5 clicks goes from the car leaving like a super stock car to a car leaving like a pro stock car. Anywhere in between, it tunes and adjusts, and I think that's one of the cool features. This strut can give you the tunability that you need. Yeah, my experience has been basically with AFCO shock assemblies, and that's how I met Eric. Is we were testing on a Camaro for Mark Horton it was a Corvette. A 2000 Corvette, yep. Roadster, one of the first ones that were out, and we were working together on trying to make that car better, and our relationship has grown since then. And to me, this is really important for all my friends that have a heavier car, because this strut here is designed, it'll go on a heavier car and work great. You do not want to run a 3,500 pound car with a spindle mount wheel. You will break the wheels. So this offers a bolt-on brake kit, you know, Strange, Willwood. There's several companies out there that sells them, like Eric says, and it's a huge bonus, because a lot of you guys have asked, where'd you get them, what do you do? Now you know. So thanks for putting up with us for a couple of minutes. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you.
Hey there, I'm sitting in the ATM booth with my good friend Johnny Deakins. We've been friends a long time. One of my best friends. Johnny has been heavily involved with ATM carburetors and has a pretty big backstory. So what I'm going to do is let Johnny tell you a little bit about his history, and then I'll walk around and show you a little bit about what ATM has to offer. Tell us a little bit about you, Johnny.
Well, started drag racing in the mid-90s, ran top dragster in the IHRA, and then when the NHRA brought it on, moved over to there and met Timmy in the IHRA days. All I ever raced was top dragster, and I hooked up with Marvin quick fuel days and started doing design and engineering work with him, and did all the way until they sold the company, and a year or two later started ATM, which is his daughter and his son-in-law, and I've done all the design and engineering of main bodies and components, and keep up with drawings and 3D models for ATM since then.
Yep, it's been a pretty good deal for Johnny. We raced a lot together in the NHRA divisional stuff, and I was the contingency director for IHRA. That's when I met Johnny. I was traveling with them, and I think at that time you were sponsored by Duquesne, right? Wasn't it Duquesne?
Yeah. I started with Duquesne gas grills.
Yeah.
And then that evolved, I guess, straight to quick fuel. The first few years of quick fuel, we all struggled to get things going, and then Marvin and Marty Brown come up with enough budget for me to get out on the circuit.
Yeah, and travel a bunch more. So.
Travel a lot.
Two great guys. Marty, miss him a lot. Marvin, he's not here at the show. He's, we're all getting up in age, but, he's still hanging in there. So, but Angela and Timmy are carrying the torch for him. So, Johnny, I appreciate you spending a couple minutes with me and sharing our relationship and your background. I think I'll walk around a little bit and video some of the carburetors and show the world what ATM is. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Okay, here's their series carburetors. The XRC series they've got. It's 650 to 1050s, and they have alternative fuel options as well. So they have several different series of carburetors. As you can see, they do 4150 flange and 4500 flange carburetors. And like I say, they were quick fuel originally. Marvin sold quick fuel, and then Angela and Timmy started this business. So it's Angela, Timmy, and the Kayla. That's what that stands for. So anywho, I'm going to show you around. Timmy's over there. He's doing his thing. He's carrying things on, and then Angela's over here. I wanted to do a video with her, but see, she turned away. She doesn't want to know. And then Calvin, he's got his back. Calvin, wave to the crowd. So, yeah. So we're here looking at all the new stuff. This is one of their newer ones, dual inlet. This is a multi-purpose carburetor. It's got, as you can tell, it's got 4 needles and seats in it, so that you can use this like ProCharger blow-through application. Plenty of fuel volume. It's an awesome piece, but they can do anything you need. Okay, thanks for watching this one. See you later. Hi there, everybody. I'm here with Brittany Almer. She is the social media director for American Race Cars. I think she's a shop manager from the videos that I've watched of Brittany. But what I want to do is tell you, or have her tell you a little bit about her involvement in drag racing, because to me, young people, especially young women, getting involved in this sport is extremely important. So I'm going to let Brittany tell you a little bit about herself and what she does. Have at it, Brittany.
All right, so yes, my name is Brittany Ulmer. I work at American Race Cars. My mom and Travis own American Race Cars, and we have been around since 2004. We have, I believe it's about 837 dragsters out there. We've got into the door car side of things. As you can see right here behind me is my mom's 2002 Blazer. The biggest thing for us and what I've learned in this industry is customer service. Everybody wants to feel important and wants their needs taken care of.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
We wrecked that with a drive-through window, didn't we?
Yes. So our biggest thing is just making universal parts for everybody. We want to keep drag racing alive. So any parts we can make for door cars, dragsters, pro mods. We're even getting into the sprint car world a little bit. I just started a new 3D print line, which is super cool. Got 2 3D printers that we print carbon fiber filament on. Print anything you need, any of the necessities that we need. But yeah, the welding part of it, I enjoy. My dad, Travis, taught me that, so that's pretty cool. He said if you can fix anything, then you're on the right track. That's kind of what he's taught me from day one. So just continuing to learn on how to work on things, fix things, and customer service is our biggest thing.
And Britt can do anything. I'm not kidding you. This girl can do anything. You need to watch their American race car videos, and I'll hashtag this as well to see what all she can do, because she can do anything in the shop. And she's an accomplished bracket racer too. She's heavily involved in, Marco and Travis have a race too that they do. I think, what is it, 3 now a year?
Yep, 3 ace races. It's just triple 20Ks, $4.95 an entry, and you can race for 320s Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
I do it because it's what I can afford, and it's a fantastic program. So if you guys like big money bracket racers that watch, or guys that just think, man, it's tough. The entry's affordable, pays great, the payout goes deep. So thanks, Brittany, for talking to me for a couple minutes, and then I'm going to show people around. Let's look at the printed stuff you got here and talk about that a little bit.
So right here we've got a tire gauge holder. It mounts to your roll bar mount. It can be any size tubing that you have in your door cars. Typical, it's an 1 5/8 is certification wise, but then you can just drop your tire gauge in here and a Zeus tool in here. Just so it's not banging all around. One of my favorite things is for the no box and box guys if you're switching a lot. So this is a K&R delay box mount. It's for the Cube 1. So say you run a box class and then you want to switch it real quick. It just has a pin in here. It doesn't right now. You pull the pin out, and your delay box is unmounted. So for those no box guys.
Take it all the way out of the car. That's awesome. I like that a lot.
Yes, and then everybody on our hot July races always wants a water with them. So this roll bar mounted cup holder is pretty awesome. It fits a 1-inch to 2-inch tube, and it can fit, a bottle, a can of soda in there, anything you'd like.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
We made these for Marco Abruzzi. Marco Abruzzi and Travis obviously are best friends, as we mentioned. They put on the ace races, but this is our 3D printed trans grip. So right now, a lot of people, if you have to pull the transmission out, to make it easier, we have a trans ring that this mounts to, but instead of cutting yourself on the metal, we made this grip out of carbon fiber, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it bolts around the 1/4-inch plate.
Yes.
Yeah, yep. That's cool. I like that.
And then another thing we've got here is a Deutsch connector, so it actually can go around a steering column in a door car. And say we've got trans brake, burnout, nitrous, bump down. If someone gets in your car and is a lefty and you want to switch a button real quick, it's a Deutsch connector. You just unplug it and you can switch a button as fast as that instead of trying to unwire something.
That is fantastic. Well, Brittany, I appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me talking about this. And I'm going to show everybody the truck to show it's not just dragsters they build. They do some awesome door car work too. I do what I do. I don't want to do this kind of stuff. I work on gassers. I work on old cars. That's what I do. But if you need something like this thing is like the ultimate, bracket vehicle. So let me show you a little bit. Look inside. They got lights turned on and stuff. The interior is immaculate. It's laid out extremely well. I mean, I like it when the original dashes are in them. That just makes them so much nicer. And then the way they mounted the motor and the headers is fantastic. Travis has got it going on. There's something else that Brittany does too, the carb cover with the spark plug holder. That is super neat. But if you look how all this is put together, it's just an incredible vehicle. So, like I say, we're here at American Race Cars. Go ahead, Brittany.
This is actually one of the newest 3D prints we did. It's just a carb cover. And if you're working on the car, you don't want to drop anything on the carburetor. We know how bad that can be.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it can wreck your day.
Yeah. So we made a carb cover. And then for those pro mod guys that change their spark plugs after every run, we actually have them labeled, 1357, 2468. Hopefully they don't have a 7/4 swap. We might have to. Yeah, you old school Chevy guys will understand that. So that is fantastic. Then they've got a dragster in here, the Todd's Extreme paint. I mean, this thing here,
it makes you think about what you're looking at, because it is incredible. Their work is, like I say, detail is next to none. So I just wanted to show you a little bit about American race cars. Marco Abruzzi has got a table set up over here too in Jones Transmission. Marco's not here to talk to him, but Brittany, thanks for spending a minute with me. I appreciate that.
No problem. Thank you so much.
I'm here at the show. It's Friday. It's Friday. I don't know what special is at the Pickle today, but I'm here with Shane Lyle. I've met Shane a few years ago. He's become a great friend. He is heavily involved in the Straight Axle Mafia, and they've recently joined up with the NDRL because NDRL is going to have a gasser class. I just signed up, but what I'd like to do is have Shane tell you a little bit about his experience and his relationship with the Straight Axle Mafia and the NDRL. Have at it, Shane.
All right. Well, I've drag raced ever since I was 16. About 5 years ago, we decided to start gasser racing just to enjoy it and not be so just a little easier, relaxed way of racing.
Yeah, versus bracket racing, and yeah,
pretty intense all the time, and it definitely delivered on that. I mean, it's made racing fun again. You know, we got cool cars, and we go race, we hang out with friends. There's competitiveness, but it's not bad. It's just fun, you know. And after the race, everybody hangs out, eats dinner, and Straight Axle Mafia is where we started. And I just wanted to be involved in it and try to help it grow if I could, because I want other people to have this experience with their racing too. So that progressed on, like I said, for the last 5 years or so, and we raced alongside NDRL, and we enjoy that group as well. So this past, probably the fall of the season, Butch decided it was a good idea to start its own gasser class within the NDRL on its own. I had been involved in the past already, so it was a good fit. So I could keep managing stuff with Straight Axle Mafia. I can be a class rep for NDRL and keep involved and race and just really enjoy what we do and hopefully grow the class and have a lot of fun with people. I mean, just get out there and race.
Yeah, I believe with what you guys are doing, this is a fantastic step forward. I've seen here recently that Southeast Gassers has changed their rules drastically, and I honestly believe that's going to drive some of the guys into your group, so which is a bonus. I'm glad to see your group is growing so well.
We tried to set the rules to where a Southeast Gasser car that may not have normally been competitive just based on certain parameters they're not used to, they can be competitive here, because we want everybody to have a good home and have a good time, and we tried to make the rules as in the median as we could to fit everybody out there that has a car like this.
And I've noticed you guys treat it like you're going to the campground with your race car, which is fantastic. You're not sitting alone. Everybody's friends, and you do cookouts and all that stuff.
Everybody helps each other.
Yeah. Is there anything you want newcomers to know in regards to, if you're going to come do this, what they might need as far as rules go this year?
I think a big one with NDRL is an engine diaper, which I'm not sure everybody has, and that's just a safety deal, and it's good for the tracks. If there's a problem, we don't have downtime on the track and cost them cleanup time. But as far as anything that pretty much every gasser group I know of are within these rules, so there's not anything out of the norm that I can think of.
Right. In my opinion, the diaper is cheap insurance. I mean,
absolutely.
You got a $50,000 to $70,000 car and or more, and you don't want to put a $150, $200 diaper on it. Man, that's the best insurance, especially if you've used one like I have. So, yeah, we both have.
And it works.
Yep, it works. So, well, Shane, I appreciate you spending some time with me today, and thanks for your friendship.
Absolutely.
See y'all.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, here we are. We're at the trade show, and as you guys know, I've been working on this video to try to show what the show means to a sportsman racer, what the show means to a regular attendee, and I'm here with Clay Milliken. We've been friends quite a long time. What I would like to do in this part of the video is have Clay explain to you
what it means as a professional racer to be at this show. How does Clay benefit from being here?
So for me, I have been making a living driving top fuel dragsters for 27 years now. And there have been times I come to this show, call it chasing sponsorship, but as the years have went, what I really learned is you're not really chasing sponsorship. What you're doing is building relationships. And so fast forward as the years have went, what I do at the PRI show is go see the people that do work with our race team and thank them and be here for anything they may need, whether it's doing a video, signing autographs, and simply meeting the people that make this entire industry work, whether they work with my race team, my YouTube channel, whatever the case may be. So for me, it is about maintaining relationship and hopefully making more relationships, because at the end of the day, this world works off of people, and that's what I love about this show is seeing old friends. Tim and I have been friends for way more than 30 years. I don't even want to think about it.
Long time.
Lot. We go back to when I was still letting go of a button in a super comp car,
Yep.
IHRA modified dragster, a long time. But for me,
With an old Dodge truck.
yes, exactly, old '92 Dodge
Yep.
truck. So that's kind of where it probably goes back
Exactly.
to in that
It
time
does.
frame. Now that I think about it, but for me, this show is about seeing the people and thanking them, meeting new ones, and hanging out with old friends.
Yep. What I want to try to do is, Clay's mentioned, this boils down to one word for him, is networking.
Yep.
We come here to network with people. It's like Clay said, see our friends, have a good time, but talk to our sponsors, thank them. I mean, and I'm to the point in my life where, you know, a lot of this stuff sort of happens automatically for me, as it does for Clay. But what I want to do at the end of this video is explain to you guys how to attend this show, how to not make people mad at you when you show up, and have a good time doing it. So everybody, thanks for watching, will you? And please follow Clay. His channel's a lot better than mine.
Oh, now. All I can tell y'all, if you're watching this channel, you can believe anything he tells you, because if there's one thing Tim Irwin will never do, and that's lie to you.
Will
and
not.
I've always known that. This man is as good as they come on this planet. Thank you for watching.
Thanks, guys.
Good.
Hey, everybody. It's Saturday. Connie and I made it home. Sitting here relaxing, thinking about the past week. Going through the trade show and everything was a big deal. We got all of that done. Came home early this morning. We've seen everything, you know. Saw all of our friends, visited people we needed to see, talked to the people that have helped me out through the years and thank them for their help. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tell you, if you've never been to a trade show, how to attend one properly. First off, when you're going to the trade show, dress for success. Don't wear your work boots. It don't look like you just crawled out from underneath your car. Wear a nice shirt, nice pants, at least a nice clean pair of jeans, a nice pair of dress shoes, and or good tennis shoes, because you can do a lot of walking, and, you know, leave your greasy hat at home. Dress like you care. Got to remember one thing: these people that are exhibiting at the show, they spend a lot of money to get there, and they spend a lot of money while they're there, because everything in the area is expensive. They're sort of holding you hostage there. So if you're going, plan on a $15 hot dog, okay, guys? That's just how it goes there. When you visit the exhibitors there, be courteous. If they've helped you in the past, thank them for their help, but try not to stay in their way for too long. When you go into a booth to look at product, you need to at least pretend like you're going to buy something, or you are interested in that. Don't just go in there and tell them your life story, because they don't really care. They're there to do business. They're there to make impressions on customers. If you're a potential customer, let them know that. If you're walking through and you just want to nib, just take a peek and walk on. Don't stand in their booth and act like they're your brother, okay, or your cousin. Move on. Let them do their jobs, because that's what they're there to do. They're trying to do a job. And remember too, when you go, the earlier you go in the week, the better off you're going to be. If you can't go until Saturday, those people are going to be done talking. They're going to be tired of talking to people. They're going to have visited probably 15,000 people, because the place is packed, and they're ready to go home too. So be courteous, and remember, as Clay and I said in the previous video, you're there to network. You're there to influence people. Talk to them. If you're looking for sponsorship, talk to them courteously and ask them if you may send them a proposal. Don't carry anything to the show. Don't give out t-shirts. Don't give out hats. These people don't want to carry that stuff home. If you want to give it to them, mail it to them as a gift after the show. If you want to give them a proposal, ask for a business card and ask who you may mail it to. Do not take it to the show, because they're going to throw it away, I'm telling you. I know enough manufacturers and how they work. If you do that, that's strike number one right there. Just ask if there's any opportunity. May I mail you a proposal? A lot of people are going to tell you that they've already, most of their budget's already set for the year. And you got to remember, this last year's been a rough one. I don't know that 26 is going to be a lot better. I think it is going to turn, but it's going to take some time. So if they say that, say, well, can I at least send you one for consideration for next year? And thank you for your time. Thank you, sir. That's what you got to say. Thank you, ma'am. And try not to stay in the way. A lot of guys go and visit like I do, but I am smart enough to know not to hog up anybody's booth. Do your thing, visit them. Thank you for your help. And, I've been at this a long time, so I've gotten a lot of help and made a lot of friends. So, it's a little bit different for me than it would be for a first timer. Courteous, dress professionally. Be prepared to spend money. If you're going to stay down there, the hotels are extremely expensive. I'll share this one with you. Connie and I went to breakfast yesterday. A order of bacon, 2 orders of toast, and 2 coffees were $44. Be prepared, because food ain't cheap. Now, you can get away from there and eat a little bit cheaper, but that's just what happened. Like, if you stay at one of the hotels close, be prepared to pay. So parking's expensive. I had guys tell me they paid up to $40 for 8 hours of parking. That's one of those things. And if you don't get there really early, you'll have to park and walk 3 miles. And of course, in the inclement weather, that ain't no fun. So, like I say, you're there to network. Networking means you're establishing relationships, and also tell people, like, if you're using their product, I love your product. I love your product. They like hearing that. It's good for them. It's just one way to build friendships, and that's what you're doing there. Networking, building friendships, building relationships. And don't ask dumb questions. If you're going to go in there and ask questions, try to prepare yourself when you go. Get on the Google site and look up information in regards to the questions you want to ask so you're prepared. Don't want to go into a booth sounding like a dummy. So these people respect that too. A little bit of knowledge goes a long way, but don't act like Einstein either. So treat people courteously. Try to be direct and to the point. Like I say, they don't want to hear your life story. They don't want to hear that you made 950 passes down the track last year. That if you're any good, they're going to know who you are. Trust me, they pay attention. If you're a newcomer, let them know, hey, I'm just new, I'm getting into the sport here, and can you give me some advice? Or I'm thinking about doing this, I'm thinking about running your carburetor, what do you recommend? This is what I have, I'm considering buying a carburetor, and I appreciate your time. Just be courteous and be careful, respectful of everybody. And like I say, don't pass stuff out. They don't want it. They'll throw it away. Happens every time. I know that. I've seen it. I've been part of it. You know, personally, I didn't. You know, if somebody had given me proposals and stuff, I would bring them back. But I'd also tell them, we don't take these at the show. Mail it in. Here's my card. Mail it to me, and I'll make sure it gets to the right person. So, fortunately, I don't have enough. I'm retired. I don't have enough money to help anybody now. So, just got friends, and they're all good ones. So, I'm hoping you guys stuck around through to the end of this. It's been interesting to do this, and if it actually makes it onto the interweb, it has turned out okay. So thanks everybody. Thanks for watching, and I'll start sharing more Monday. Take care.